to week 3 of Tier 3's Tater Tots versus Stardust Crusaders. I am your host for tonight, Sebi, and hopefully we're going to have quite a fun game ahead of us. I know Jibba's going to be joining me shortly. I think she just came back from work, so she's going to be a little bit busy for the first map. Yeah, definitely excited to see these two teams. Had some interesting games in the very first week. I know Stardust Crusaders with the upset were able to beat White Walkers. Taters, I can't remember who they play. I kind of want to say We The Ops, but again, We The Ops were sort of on fire as well, so I feel like this could be anyone's game here. That being said though, let's start off with the Taters. It looks like they're going to be running a possible bald hog comp. Okay. So they're going to be running the Junkrat and the Echo as well. Quite a lot of spam damage there. They've got the Lucia and Mercy, so we'll see how that goes. On the other side, we do have the classic Rhine Zarya. Quite a brawly comp here from Stardust Crusaders. Let's see if they can make anything happen here. Okay, I'm liking the aggression here. And Tater's starting off quite well here. Let's see what they get up to. They've had 3 picks just before Uravi is able to, you know, take one back for their team. Unfortunately, it's not looking like a lot. Mag Dragon incredibly low right now. Doesn't seem like they will be able to make it out at all. Nice res there to end things off, and there we go. There's the pause. Sort of forgot it last second. Okay, so starting into this next fight, we do have Psycho Mantis already at mine, so I wonder if he's going to pop them now, just to sort of initiate the fight. That being said, Uravi also with his own ult. Psycho seems like he's looking for a boop, hoping that they're going to go down through the typical Mega way. The mines are forcing the rest of the team from Stardust to play into choke. Uravi here with the first pick and Zany Boy following up. Surprisingly, they did use the grab here, and even more surprisingly, the beat came out. Oh, hang on, sorry, that was Huntress using the beat, right? Or, not the beat, the grab. I got super confused there for a second. And Stardust, they're only able to flip it with only the beat. We be ghost. Take blue. Here we go. Okay, so Jag here with the whole hog. Is he able to get anyone off? He is. He is able to take off Zany. Quite a big pick here. And Tater does come out from organic kill and finds take the strap. It looks like this is going to be quite a easy flip here. Only using... Well, I would say maybe the mines were a little unnecessary, but you got to do what you got to do here. Quite a solid flip here from Taters, though they will have to worry. They don't have anything to deal with these 4 ults coming from Stardust. Let's get into the mind of Mag Dragon here. I wonder how they're going to combo these ults. I wonder if we're going to see Uravi here make some sort of play. Yeah, looks like they did go for that combo. Fortunately, were able to take out one, and quite a big pick there as well. So again, fortunately for them, only able to use 2 ults to flip that point, so best case scenario for them right now. They still have 2 ults to deal with. Huntress is taken out, and quite a nice stagger there from Beezer. Though they do need to watch out for Jag here on the flank. Looking to maybe hook someone off, but they might have seen that coming. Mines do come out. Are they going to be able to get anyone? They do. They get a Firestorm here. Quite a huge pick, actually, since there's no beat available now. Organic Kale following up and taking out Mad Dragon, so... Really impressive that they were able to take out those few picks early. I'm not sure why Jag ulted there. Unfortunately, would have been nice for him to hold on to that ult maybe for the last fight, but... Maybe in the heat of the moment, he sort of thought that it was needed. Unfortunately, he did get flashbanged out of it by Biza as well, so good job there. And Mad Dragon coming out of nowhere with the shatter. Is able to take out Huntress, but I doubt it's going to be enough since the beat is there from Mugen Cypher. And is Strap going to be able to touch? Oh, unfortunately not. And even if she did, the tire was there. So quite a solid first round for Taters there. If they keep this up, they definitely will be taking the lead here. Not a team that I was sleeping on, even after the first week, though they did lose, but they were playing quite well. Chat, what do you guys think? Have you got your predictions already set? Let's see here. So we got runes. Taters are going to be going with the Rein Zarya this time around. They are going to have the Reaper and Ashe. No Mercy to help with the pocket. Stardust Crusaders again with the classic Rein Zarya, but they're going heavy brawl this time with the Mei Reaper. Interesting that they're going for the Mercy instead of the Moira for this comp. A nice wall there though from Uravity, and Biza is able to take out Jag. Quite a massive pick. So hopefully Taters can just back out. Biza is just popping off right now. Taters 4 easy clap. I mean, if they're getting walled like that, it might be more difficult, but... Yeah, the Uravity Mei, quite a solid pick. The big pick there from Mrs. Polish, taking out the Ryan. Unfortunately, that should be enough for Taters to flip the point here. It's just a matter of how much percentage can Stardust Crusaders take from the point before them flipping it. Strap with a nice res onto Zanny. And Jag able to get Biza. Grab does come out. Unfortunately, Firestorm did use beat in that, but it was for Vayne, as Taters were able to flip the point regardless. This looks like it's going to be close, but I'm going for Stardust all the way. It does look like a very close game, to be honest. The first map was very close, and even now we're seeing points being flipped relatively quickly. So I'm liking the Huntress swap onto the Pharah. Biza being smart to swap onto the McCree here. Is it going to be enough to deal with the pharmacy? We do have a barrage here. So I wonder if they are prepared for this. They are going down that little corridor on the right hand side. I wonder if Huntress is going to pop the ult. And that's enough to find two before Biza takes them out. However, the res is available. Uravity on his own, just out of nowhere, unfortunately taken out. And Taters are slowly but surely taking quite a hefty lead here. That being said though, Stardust do have quite a nice ult combo coming onto this next fight. If I were Jag, I'd probably want to get that shatter off as soon as possible. The Pharah swap here is going to screw Stardust. You think so, Alonzi? I think it might be the case of just swapping off the Mei and helping Biza out with a double hit scan. So it looks like that combo was enough to flip the point. And Mugen are actually doing a really good job just stalling there. Fortunately for Stardust, they do have a couple of ults now that they can slowly snowball over the next few fights. Tater's realistically only needing that one fight. They don't need to worry about a double hit scan. They only need to worry about Beezer now. Let's follow your gravity here. Taters do need to be careful of the wall. Here is the wall. Can they capitalize on that? And they are able to take out Jag. Zanny following up as well, taking out Organic Coil. Organic Kale. Okay, so starting to approach the last fight territory. We do have quite a few ults online for both teams here. The question is who is going to be able to pop theirs first and get a few picks. It's a do or die moment for both teams. And it looks like they are going for the grab blizzard combo. Both grabs do come out. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for Taters. And that combo is just a little too much for them. Huntress is able to take out one, but again, not enough as the rest of the team are taken out. Let's go Taters. Aiden, welcome to the stream. So yeah, definitely an even fight. Will be fun as the well really adds a different sort of dynamic onto team fights. We do know that Psychomantis loves his hog here, so I wonder if we'll see a few boops. Surprisingly, not seeing a very boopy team from Stardust Crusaders here. They're running the double shield, not even a Lucio either, so we'll see how that pans out. I do like the Tor pick. Tater's opting for quite a boopy team. They've got the pulled pork with the Pharah and Lucio. It should be, on paper, it should be sort of their fight to lose. And quite a big pick to start things off. Psychomantis with a nice hook onto Magdragon. If I was Stardust, I would just back up right now. Oh, that being said, Urabi with a nice pick. I wonder if that's gonna get rezzed. The shield is there. Beezer's popping off right now. Surprisingly, they are able to flip the point. Quite liking this right rotation here from the Taters. Can they make any magic happen though? Mugen Cypher was incredibly low. Huntress with a nice pick to start things off. Though the Graviton Flux does find two, I believe. The res is there and Urabi brings it back, taking out Mugen Cypher. The picks are going back and forth, more so in favor for Stardust right now. And yeah, looks like they can hold and are going to be the first team to take it above 50%. Now we do have quite a few ults coming online for Taters here. Organic Kale. I wonder if they're going to be using their tire here. The good thing with Stardust is, even though they've only got Molten Core, they do have the bongos to sort of bring all the other ults back. And relatively quickly, this is going to start panning out to be like a last team fight for their team. The television screen does come out from Firestorm. Unfortunately, the tire taken out by Zanny Boy. So good job there. Mugen Cypher is able to take out Magdragon with a nice boop. Looks like Taters are able to flip this. Huntress, I don't know what happened there, but we're just going to pretend that never happened. Oh, the shatter used as well. interesting. I would say that the Hoggo would have been more than enough, but they may be getting a little desperate and making sure that they hold point, especially when Huntress is still coming back. Let's see if I can get Jibber to join. Can't even. Okay, so it looks like an even fight right now. Bob does come out from Uravity, and Uravity does get the pick there onto Huntress as well. Yeah, it looks like quite a clean fight win there for Stardust, and they will be taking map 1. Unless Psycho Madness has anything to say about that. Oh, but the boop from Magdragon. And Zaddy Boy won't let Jag touch. Big F for Mantis there. But he does get play of the game. I wonder if it's going to be a boop here. I'm feeling a boop coming. Yep. Oh, big numbers as well. Love to see it. Okay, why the heck can I not invite Jibber? So what do you think there, guys? Do you think that first map's gonna change your opinions on who's gonna win? Or do you think you're still pretty set on the score? Let's see. Next map is going to be Eichenwald. Quite a fun map. Hopefully we do see a bit of Junkrat. There it is. So let's have a look then. Stardust are going to be running with Strife and Eldritch for the tank line. Strife, I have no idea where they are. There they are.
Good evening, chat.
There she is. Welcome.
Apologies for being late. Seems to be my new MO.
That's okay, I'm just carrying this game on my back. Maybe a couch. Looks like we're having quite a few swaps here from Stardust. Dragon Token. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Who won map 1?
It went to Stardust Crusaders 2-1.
It was really close from what I was watching, so nice to see Tater's definitely battling back against that.
Yeah, it definitely was back and forth. It looks like it's going to be anyone's game just from map 1, to be honest with you. Bullet kill.
To give a quick update on the other game, it is currently 1-1 Weedy Ops versus I Need Healing.
One. Okay.
Yep, they are in map 3, and it's looking like Looking like they're in a pause, or they were in a pause situation when I last checked them.
Do be like that sometimes. Bring that fire, Strife. I don't think I've ever seen Strife play tank, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they play a lot of like Tracer, right?
Correct.
So I wonder if that's going to translate into being an off tank here. Unfortunately, you don't have the 3 blinks as a Zarya, so that would be kind of busted. Jeff Kaplan, make it happen. Strife does a little bit of everything, that's good to hear. Always love to see a good flex.
Back when I played Goat, Strife was our diva. Many DC bombs were had.
Three blink Zarya, please. Yeah. Let's get on board with that, Wegsy. We need to sign a petition. That way you can go far left, far right, whatever your heart desires. And we've got the ready, so let's get things started here.
Sorry about the background noise.
What is happening over there?
Just getting home, so the dogs are a little excited to be out of their cages right now. Rooting for their teams here.
Okay, so let's see how things are going to start off here. Defense, it looks like we might actually go for a double shield. There we go. So double shield with the Reinhardt instead of the Orisa, quite interesting. Usually you'd think that you'd sort of go for the Orisa Sig defense kind of double shield, but we'll see how this works out. They've also got the Mei and Junkrat. I wonder what they're going to follow up with the heals. Token Panda on the Baptiste. Okay, so they are going to be running the Bap Mercy along with those.
And it looks like for attack from Taters, we're getting the Ryan Zarya with their own Junkrat Mei and a Lucio Moira. So probably hoping to speed through this choke so nobody kind of gets caught off here. But I think if Phoebe goes gets a really good wall, they will be able to excel on that.
Nice rock there from Eldridge, able to take out bullet dodges before any damage was done with the wall. Strife here on the Reinhardt. I thought they were going to off-tank for a second.
Mad Dragon was able to get a really nice res there. The whole team kind of rotated right, which forced Taters to go back the other way and allow her to get that res off and bring Phoebe back into this fight.
Yeah, it could be worse for the defense there. Sidomia, if Taters run a Pharah now, it's going to be really difficult for Stardust to deal with it. A really nice wall there from Weeby.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like we have a good amount of ult percentage here on both sides. Both Sigma and Ryan have their ults for these next fights, and Maze are pretty even in the percentage right now. But that tire from Wakusha might be pretty good here, depending on how many people they can get in it.
Yeah, the only problem Taters have right now is they need to speed boost and move as a unit just to avoid the Mei wall. If they hesitate for even a second or two, then Mei wall will punish them, and it has been doing so far.
I was gonna say, having their full team here right now, this would be the prime opportunity for them to speed boost, but they do still have to deal with a lot of spam damage in the choke.
Do you see a few ults coming out? Nice res there from Mag Dragon.
Strife able to get a really good hammer down there off though, but it looks like we're getting a lot of different ults here from both teams, and Taters are seemingly a bit stronger here at the moment.
Yeah, fortunately the Tater there able to take out Eldritch along with the May Freeze was able to really, you know, allow them to stabilize in that time and flip things, so really good job there actually. We're able to force quite a lot of ults, if not pretty much all 6 of them actually, from Stardust there. And we are going to see McBrantis have a grab relatively soon. The question is he going to save it or is he going to use it?
Yeah, they'll definitely have to wait to see Eldritch use their eat, so that you don't want to see Zarya grab kind of lost in the fight here.
So this is what Sidonia was talking about just a second ago. Stardust Crusaders don't have any sort of answer for bullet dodges on the Pharah now, so realistically it's going to be quite free reign until they swap.
Polish just used ult in that last fight to help them take point, and already she's at almost 75% ult charge here. Haters are taking a lot of damage as they try and get back through this second choke though.
They are, but from it they are going to have the Grav and Koa, but I mean, you do have the Tater online now, so maybe they can get quite a big combo going on here. The only thing they need to watch out for is the lamp, which has came out from Token Panda.
Tater is destroyed before it's able to get really a lot there. And we do see Lakusha return with her own and get 2 in it.
Yeah, able to even fought things out between the two teams. Quite a nice shatter there from Jag. Able to find 2 there and able to confirm that kill onto Wakaucha.
Used really well because it definitely helps McBrantis kind of keep with their aggression but escape out of the fight with their ult, or their charge there as Zarya.
Good from Taters to kite out of that blizzard as well. Ooh, a big shot there from Strife as well, able to find 4. Fortunately the follow-up isn't there, but Mag Dragon does get the res onto Weeby. Quite a big res as well because that wall was used to split Jag from the rest of his team. And now it looks like we're getting the staggers and the cleanup kills. But it does need to watch out now that Wakaucha has swapped onto the McCree.
I'd like to see these quick changes here from Stardust trying to just counter whatever Taters are going to be pushing at them.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to sort of, you know, dilly-dally around. Whatever you can do to shut the rest of the team down. Questionable ult since Bullet was very low in that flux, but Wakaucha is able to take out Bullet there. So I've got Organic with a 2-piece. This might be enough. Oh, and the shatter comes out as well from Jag, able to find 2. Is he going to be able to get one of them?
You say they have to be careful because Strife was brought back into the fight in their backlines, but apparently Organic Kale is just going to use that tire to make
Organic Kale doesn't care. Let me just delete both tanks from this fight real quick.
Forcing the rest of Stardust to sort of back out here and regroup. They will have one more fight as long as they kind of just patiently wait. Don't get picked off early here.
Looks like we're going to see a shatter here, and Strife is able to find 1, but the bubble is there from McBrantis, able to save Mugen Cypher. And the Graf Koa is more than enough to take this to the final third.
Definitely liked the idea of the wall there from Weeby to kind of raise the team up and help get them out of as much of that Junkrat spam damage as they could, but Taters really followed up with some good focus fire.
Some smart play, and I'm liking the aggression here from Taters right now. Just trying to make as much space as possible. We are going to see a potential shatter coming online very soon from Jag. Unless Weeby has anything to say about that, though picks are going back and forth right now. Mag Dragon with a nice res onto Weeby, and Token is able to take out Jag, so that's pretty much going to shut down their push. Fortunately,
very hard to charge out of that fight, but unfortunately the payload was right behind him.
Fortunately, Taking Panda did use their ult, so that's one less ult that Taters do need to worry about coming into this next fight. Oh, this is going to be big. Huge combo there from Jag and Kale.
But Mrs. Polish denying Kale, that's 6k.
Fortunately, they all died at the same time, so they might actually be able to contest this as a team.
Yes. I agree. I do think they'll be able to kind of touch point and contest, especially with an Immort field here from
Ooh, 0.3. Wakauchi unable to get any picks because they were being focused right there. Jag with a pin getting 2 there. What was that all about?
I liked the Immort field there from Panda, but Jag chose to charge everybody out of that Immort field to make sure bullet dodgers would be able to get a good utilization from that Reaper ult. So really good just comboing of, you know, different abilities and cooldowns on the side of Taters.
Yeah, and from how Tater's played there, I think Stardust done a really good job in taking time off the clock. Only with 19 seconds left. It's not the greatest time in the world, but again, Stardust will need to take it all 3 points if they want a chance to win this map.
Yeah, considering Taters didn't really waste a whole lot of time with rotations and or stutter stepping to get into these fights, Stardust definitely did a really amazing job of just eating this clock down to the 19 seconds, so almost had them into the overtime. But a lot of ults there at the end for Taters really just helped them clinch that point.
So now it looks like Taters are going to be running the Rein Zarya. Okay, they're going to be having the Junkrat and Ashe this time around. Interesting that they don't run the Mercy with the Ashe all too often. Maybe it's just so that they can provide the extra heals for their tank lines, who I know can be incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, and Mrs. Polish is really building her ult off of the aggression from the tanks. They do go critical fairly often, but she's always there to kind of back them up and get their health back up, even if it means using the Koa. On the side of Stardust, we are seeing a Rein Zarya themselves, along with a Reaper Junk and a Lucio Moira, so it looks like they're going to be hoping to kind of speed boost onto point themselves here.
And a nice fire strike there from Jag, able to get 20% just to start things off. Already with a huge lead against Strife for getting his shatter. 50%.
Second fire strike, bringing him up to 50. Yep.
And Jag starting things off incredibly strong. Though he does need to be careful since his shield is going to get broken, and he does get punished for that. Unfortunately, there is no res available for either team, so we're just going to have to wait for those Reins to come back now. But organic KO here.
Caught in that trap there, trying to help Eldrick get out of that fight, which I think will cause Stardust to back out here.
And KO, they're doing a really good job getting that triple kill. Just wanting to pop off, waiting until Jag gets back. Obviously, you don't want to come into a fight without your Reinhardt, because that's pretty much L straight off the bat.
Pokey wants a weird comp. Would have loved to have seen a Mei Sim. Matrix field a little further up, I think, than Mugen wanted that to be, which allowed Stardust to kind of just push right beyond it and not take any damage from it.
And a big shot, able to find 4 there from Jag. Is able to take out Weeby Ghost because of it. And Mag Dragon able to take out Organic Coil. That's the second time I've said it now. I'm so sorry.
No.
Organic Coil. But, what was I saying? Where are we? What year is it?
It's 2020, unfortunately.
Oh man, I can feel me getting ripped for that.
Mag does have this beat online for this next fight though, so I think if they do get grabbed, where Taters need to kind of either try and bait out the beat first before they use it, or they're going to have to play very aggressively.
Looks like we do see double grab. The beat does come out from Mag Dragon. Unfortunately, the lamp was there from Mugen Cypher, so the tire didn't do as much as they planned. Organic KO and bullet dodges though. They are carrying this team fight. Jag does get pinned after that shatter from Strife. Unfortunately, it's not enough.
Yeah, I really liked Strife's hammer down there, and the pin was a good pin, but unfortunately just meant Strife ended up in the back lines of the Taters, and Taters already had the advantage on that fight. Nice to see the switch to the Echo, because I think as long as they can get some angles and some damage in, Bullet not having the pocket might might make it a little tough for Bullet to take down Lakusha.
Unfortunately, that was a really good team fight there for Taters. Having drawn out quite a few ults, they've not really got much to worry about coming into these last two fights.
Battling Colas.
And a big shatter again. We're seeing massive shatters so far. Both Jag and Strife, and Jag able to take out another two with one pin. Jag doing a really good job with these shatters. They do know that Wakaucha is around. Are they going to be able to get the cleanup kill? Wakaucha is not in the greatest spot right now. Oh, and quite a big stagger there. If I were them, I would have just jumped off the map.
I think Weeby just needs to kind of wait for Mugen to use this inward field, and then we'll be able to get a really big pick here, something that if Stardust can push in aggressively with it, they'll be able to turn point here potentially.
Nice boop there, actually. Weeby was able to take out Organic Kale, but would have been getting more if it weren't for that boop.
I like that they're playing sort of around the cart here to negate the damage from Bob. I think that was just a misuse there from Eldrick on that grab, but I think they were trying to keep them off point and in that little room there.
Well, they are making up for it at the very least. Able to find two there. Picks are going back and forth, but again, more so in favor of Stardust Crusaders. And it looks like they just barely are able to hold on.
Smart pick for Strife to go to the Diva, get back to point quickly, was able to kind of eat a lot of that Junkrat damage as they were fighting on point there.
Yeah, definitely a good job there. I wonder if...
Looks like we're getting a dive off the Stardust Crusaders now.
Let's follow Eldritch. Let's see what the plan is. Take the high ground, annoy the team. Get a few picks, rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Kale is definitely doing a lot of work, so removing the high ground from Kale is a smart decision here from the side of Crusaders.
We don't want to be in a small room with a Junkrat. Who's going to win this? Eldritch is able to win that, fortunately.
Really nice peel from Mag to make sure Eldritch stays up, keep him healthy.
Ooh, big pulse bomb there from Weeby.
Able to get a safe res off too because that bubble was there for her.
Able to flip the point just because of that as well, so really nice pulse bomb. And they are going to be able to collapse upon Jag and Mr. Polish there.
I like seeing Bullet switch off of that Ashe to the McCree, kind of help deal with both the Tracer and the Echo there. Realistically deal with any of these guys.
Beep boop, you sound like a robot right now. Tide does come out. Oh, I like the idea of the grab, quite a big one as well, able to get 3 in it, but unfortunately the tire wasn't enough. Strife, able to find 2. That's not what Taters want, though the shatter is quite big as well, able to find 3 from Jag. Oh, Mad Dragon was stuck in a trap there, fortunately wasn't focused down. And it looks like Stardust are doing a really good job here, getting second point, more so than first. And it looks like we will see them take it to the final third. Weeby just being incredibly annoying on that Tracer. It's what we like to see.
Good amount of ults here online for Stardust, so would like to see them use this Mercy Valve to kind of damage everybody up, keep them at full health for this fight, and help Stardust build the rest of these ults very quickly.
Oh, unfortunately wasn't able to get the stick there. but it was close enough to do a fair bit of damage. Pig's going back and forth. Jag is able to take out Weeby, but Coucher taking out Bullet. Though the res is there, and Weeby is back in the fight now. This is going heavily in favor for Stardust Crusaders, as Token Panda is able to take out Brantis. Strife as well with the follow-up. No tanks on the side of Taters right now. Are we going to see a big high noon? Unfortunately not. And that's a scary bomb. It's not able to get anyone though. Good job to disperse from Taters. Wow, it's looking like Stardust are actually going to finish with a better time here. Quite a big beat from Mugen Cypher. Definitely needed to sort of keep the team healthy, but Jag just taking an incredible amount of damage right now.
Taters are really wanting to make sure though that, you know, the further they continue to push this point, Stardust will not actually now have a better time differential, so.
Yeah, fortunately they've done a really good job. That was a really big grab as well from McBrantis. Unfortunately the follow-up wasn't there as most of the team was dead.
Nice boot there from Strife to keep Jag off of point if he was trying to charge.
Definitely a really close game here.
Those 8 seconds could make all the difference in the world though.
I agree. This map has been ridiculous, definitely. But we love ridiculous, right?
Sim, let's go.
No, it's Simbastian, come on now.
No, you gotta love that Maywall Sim teleport up over the left side. Never expected.
Oh god.
It's a strat that is not expected. It's well known, but just not expected. And if you can execute it and get your whole team through, it's a really good way to kind of focus in, especially if you get one early pick on the other team.
Right. No, I agree with you. Would be interesting to see them do that again, though.
Yes. So it looks like for attack, though, from Crusaders, we're going to get that double shield again, along with a Sombra junk, or nope, a Farah junk, and then a Lucio Moira.
Tater's here going for a Rhine Hog this time around. Quite an interesting combo, not the Zarya. They are going to be running the Reaper and McCree along with Baptiste Moira, so interesting choice of tanks there.
Sorry, that's a really good question. Honestly, Jag is, I don't think, getting anything less than a 3k shatter, but a lot of these shatters really seem to be 5k, and he's just building them back up consistently and quickly.
Yeah, he is getting them incredibly quickly, and he's doing a really good job in getting most of the team as well. That's sort of what you want from your main tank, and Jag is delivering right now. The pin to try and take out Eldritch, unfortunately, wasn't able to suction him in.
I think this fight is going to be a matter of which Reinhardt gets their ult here first.
Oh, but there is no res now, though. And Bullet Dodge is just doing a ton of work right now.
Mugen already, with that Matrix field, both supports on the side of Tater, is able to get these ults off.
Are we going to see another big shatter? Oh, unfortunately, Strife was there to block it, so a really good block, but a massive tire here from Wakaucha.
Would have been an even bigger potential high noon there from Bullet, who had the right angle, but just good focus from Kusha.
And unfortunately, Taters didn't have anything to sort of deal with that tire, which is where someone like a Baptiste comes in incredibly clutch. But all Taters need is one big fight win. They can even do that with just the organic coil ult.
Especially because there is no Immort field on the side of Stardust, and there is no beat to kind of try and save them, so they will have to take out organic kill very quickly.
I'm surprised they didn't use the ult there, but picks are going very in favor of Stardust Crusaders here.
Unfortunately, looking to use that Roadhog ult in that situation, but was taken out by Weeby.
Yeah, if I was KO, I would have just used the ult there, to be honest. I don't think too many people were looking at him, and Strife was incredibly low as well, so might have been a shout to use it there. Unfortunately, hindsight is 20/20, but
Looks like we might be getting a high noon flank though, along with that Reaper Elf on point. So those two combos together.
And is able to take out Weavy with it. Is Mugen, or excuse me, is Magdragon going to be able to get the res? Not looking likely, but picks are going very back and forth right now. Stardust are doing a really good job, and it looks like they are going to get it to the final third yet again.
I like the retreat there from Mrs. Polish instead of trying to fight on point, knowing that it was going to be a lost cause. Choosing to get back to the team, not stagger herself.
Taters are working with just a shatter here. It's one better than what Stardust have though. Is this going to be enough? It needs to be a big shatter if they want to end the fight now. Is able to find two from it, even with the shield up from Strife. But Jack's shield is just crumbling right now, but it dodges with a nice pick onto Weeby. And Jack going in incredibly aggressively to stop that res, I assume. Unfortunately, the res does happen right in front of them.
Nice shield there from Eldritch, and the whole team kind of just waiting that out behind that shield instead of moving around, which is sometimes easy to do.
Brant is getting the melee kill onto Magdragon here. Picks are going in favour of Taters finally, and it looks like they are going to be able to hold here. So quite a solid push from Stardust.
Considering Stardust pushed that on one, you know, not even 1 minute, they pushed from point one on overtime that entire time. Really good distance for them to get that payload.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job being the aggressors and using their ults before the rest of the team and getting as much value as they could, and then just, you know, doing the same thing over and over again, rinse and repeat, to a point where they took it that far. I think Taters didn't know what hit them there. So Taters didn't struggle as much to get point A compared to Stardust, so I wonder how things are going to change. Stardust going for the double shield, again going for Made Junkrat instead of a hit scan, so it might be their downfall here if Taters decide to swap onto a Pharah, but we'll see how that goes.
Quick update on the other game, it is going to map 5, which means I Need Healing versus We the Ops is currently 2-2.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. We the Ops, very strong showing. As I was saying earlier, played against Tater, Tots and won 3-1? 3-1 or 4-0? But yeah, just a really strong team coming off the bat.
Jag unfortunately caught off early in that trap there. Wall is down, so this is the time for Taters to be pushing in aggressively.
And good rotation here from Taters, able to get all the way left before Jag's shield is taken out. Though he needs to watch out because he is split from his team.
Yeah. I like the Hanzo pick here, able to kind of help take these shields out, get some accurate damage onto Stardust Crusaders.
Coucher here with a 2-piece there, and it looks like Taters are going to have to back off. This being a last fight now. I'm wondering if they're going to swap to the Pharah. No, it looks like they're just going to roll with it.
I don't think they realize that Okusha is in, or was in the back lines here, but has rotated back to point with the rest of the team. Eldritch really, I was going to say, really looking to focus down McGrantis there.
Coucher just putting the team on their back for that last fight and able to get 3 and pretty much confirm the team win there. Playing a very flanky Junkrat, I think that's one thing Taters really need to look out for. Almost look both ways before crossing the street kind of thing. It looks like Organic Coil with the play of the game.
Coil.
Coil. that was quite a big combo there. Insane numbers. 31k healing, 25k damage.
Impeccable. Epic. It's nice to be appreciated.
Okay, so map 3. What is map 3? Let's have a look.
Anubis.
Oh god, one of the worst maps in the game.
Great for these Junkrats that we're seeing tonight, though.
Definitely. Yeah, we're going to see some fun Junkrat plays, especially if we see KO and Couch are still in. Let's swap all these teams. Red. I think that's all of them.
I will ask for our next lineups.
Both maps being incredibly close right now.
Do you think we will see a Bastion in defense?
It is 2-0 Stardust right now. Bastion, that would be an interesting one. I have a feeling that we won't see a Bastion, to be honest. I think we're going to see a lot of Ashe. Ashe and Junkrat. That's sort of your go-to DPS. We might see a little bit of Widow. That'd be fun to watch. May defense from both teams. That's a shout as well. If you want to see a Bastion, you're going to see a Bastion. There's no ifs or buts about it. They're bulky. Let the man live.
Bulky, just Venmo us, PayPal us $5, and we'll, when one of the teams at the end, when somebody leaves, we'll just put a hard Bastion in for you and get the game going again.
Okay, so it looks like Magdragon is going to be swapping back over to Tank along with Zanny Boy. Gravity is coming back in, so we might see the May come out. Or Couch, yep. And Firestorm,
Bulky,
Strife.
define a weird pick. What is this weird pick comp that you want to see? Like nothing that is cohesive with each other?
Just a cheese pump.
Brig, Lucio.
Maybe a bit of Monkey Orisa.
Bastion Genji. Yeah, Monkey Orisa. That sounds like a comp and a half. It does sound like a disruptive comp, though, to be fair.
I wonder how that would work in actual games, though. I know we used to run Monkey Orisa sometimes. Corgis too. I'd love to watch
sometimes
that.
Sometimes those kinds of comps, though, are actually, like I just said, they're so surprising, and you're taken aback by them. It's hard to counter, especially if a team can figure out the target focus that they need.
Yeah, we have seen a bit of Monkey Hog from time to time, and that's definitely been a sort of disrupting comp since no one sort of expects it or knows how to deal with it. Nada agrees.
Lala is a weird coffin herself, so of course she does agree. Allie, back up.
How do you guys think map 3 is going to go then? It's interesting to see. We're going to see Strife on the healer this time around, so definitely going to be flexing. Psychomantis on the DPS as well. So a little bit of flexibility, you gotta love that. It goes a long way, especially with us.
I gotta get the dogs water, so I'm gonna just mute myself and go get them some more water.
That's fine, I'll just talk to myself. Story of my life, right chat? King Diva Hog, Doomfist May, Brig Zen. Diva Hog, Doomfist May, Brig Zen. That sounds like that sounds like an EU comp. I feel like I'd see that in my EU games, to be honest, Volky. I think Stardust has their feet under them, and Anubis is a comfortable map for a lot of these Stardust players. Okay. High praise there for Stardust. Both teams are called Stardust. That's not what I want. There we go. It's going to be a throwback. What do you think, Crypto? What can you see coming out? I'm thinking it's just going to be Ash Chunk. I've seen the wildest stuff come out of EU games. Oh yeah, believe me. Score. Okay. Megan instead of kill. Okay. Okay, so we got both readies and we should be good to go.
Now entering the temple of Olympus.
Back just in time.
Perfect timing.
How was your conversation with yourself?
It was extremely pleasant, if I do say so myself.
Very enlightening.
It was. So I believe Tater's here on the defense. They're going to be running the double shield Widow Junkrat, so pretty close to what I was saying. Would like to see a Widow as well, so glad to see that. Stardust here are going to be running the dive. I was talking to, it was a two-person convo. Okay, yeah, Bulky was here to keep me company.
Bulky is always here. Gotta love him. Sebby just trying to be selfish here.
How do you guys think Taters are going to deal with this dive comp?
Yeah, we do see a nice dive of the ball Diva along with the Genji, Echo, and the Mercy Lucio, so...
We saw them play this dive against White Walkers as well, and they've done an incredible job. White Walkers looked like they weren't really able to deal with it. And a nice boop as well. Able to take out McBrantis, Jag having to drop to try to aid him, but not enough. Though Psycho is able to take out Strife.
I think Jag just dropped a second too late there to be able to kind of help, but we do see Psycho
Calm
really
down, Psycho.
I was gonna say, doing a lot of work to stop Stardust from pushing in. We did see Magdragon try to dive Huntress. Huntress able to escape out.
Oh, and a nice dagger onto Mag. A really good job there from Psycho, able to sort of stop that push from materializing at all, even while they were down one of their tanks.
We do see Kusha switch off of the Echo onto their own Widow to kind of battle Huntress.
Ouch.
It's now switched to McCree instead.
Ramzani just punished there. Unfortunately, going in that room and with a Junkrat watching you, there's only one or two ways you can go out, and if that other way is trapped, you're sort of screwed there. And Psycho again. I think if I was Stardust, I'd be getting ready to deal with Attire coming into this next fight. Oh, Mugen Cypher there. Baptista's the new Widow confirmed. I'm liking Psycho's position up top. That's not Psycho, this is Psycho. Although he has been noticed by Zani, so he does need to make a little adjustment.
Sorry, Mela just needed to run for a second.
And a big tie there from Psycho. Unfortunately not able to get Magdragon, but still doing more than enough to win that team fight there. Now we do see Huntress in a very awkward spot.
With only a minute left on the clock here, you almost wonder if we should see Stardust kind of switch off of this dive. I know they do have two ults here online, but maybe a little more shield presence to kind of help them poke through this point. Taters have a lot of ults online, though, to kind of push them back for the next 30 seconds at least.
Hey, Stardust are definitely stream sniping here. As soon as you talked about them swapping, we immediately see the swaps onto the Rhine Zarya. They are going to have a Lucio here to push with a beat. Oh, never mind. Cast a curse here. Psycho takes him out, and they're going to have a free flux into this. If I were them, I would try to just let the Zarya live as long as possible and get a nice stagger. Oh, hang on a minute.
I kind of feel they should have swapped off that after. I agree, Sai. Sometimes fights don't continue to work, but right now it looks like Stardust have kind of put an impressive showing here to take this point.
Out of nowhere as well,
to make it a big nail biter for you, always kind of taking it down to these last couple of seconds.
Yeah, they're trying to put on a show for us.
Did Zarya Mercy Junk just kill everyone? It looks like it. We've seen some crazy things on this map before, so I'm not shocked to see that. Supporting each other in these fights can definitely do a lot of work.
Tots there with the early pick onto Uravity. No res available, so it's just gonna have to be a slow poking phase for Stardust Crusaders.
All my stars and garters. Bulky, where do you come up with these things?
If I were Psycho, I would maybe try to set up somewhere up here. Oh, and Psycho's able to take out Wakaucha due to Jag taking out Strife just in time.
I was going to say that was a really nice Matrix field there from Mugen on top of the Immort field, and Jag really followed up by kind of turning and getting that Fire Strike in on the team for the damage boost.
Oh my stars and garters. That is a very boomer thing to say, Bulky. But we love you dearly. Now, very fortunate that only 2 ults were used from Taters in exchange for the Lucio B, and the Lucio B didn't even go off, so...
Stardust, T2 team. Stars and garters.
Need to watch out for Uravity in the back line. Ooh, Huntress able to take out Mag. Well, Coucher with a big tire, but is it going to be enough? It's going to be very difficult due to 2CP being 2CP.
Definitely helped save the team there, though, because Jag got a nice shatter off onto them.
Looks like Taters are actually going to have to stall now. I don't know how Stardust are able to just, you know, sort of pull out a bag of tricks and somehow win the team fight, even though things are looking heavily in the other team's favor.
Really impressive hold there. First point from Taters. Just Stardust were really able to kind of capitalize on that. Slightly half dive?
Yeah, I think Stardust done pretty much the same thing as they did on Blizzard, where they sort of struggled on first point, and then after that they almost steamrolled.
Yeah, they do a really good job of rallying on these last couple of pushes that they have, so they do not really succumb to the pressure of the clock, which is nice to see.
You almost feel as if Taters are getting a little cocky towards the end there. According to everyone else, I'm basically dead. Poor guy.
Sorry, Funky, I'm right there with you.
Okay, so let's see then.
I think we were talking in Gen Chat, we needed some kind of boomer team. Boomers only. Take all these young kids on.
That's a surefire way to get yourself into bronze.
Can only play old Overwatch characters.
Ana. I mean, No Limits is the new comp, right? So 6 Anas. So we do have a double shield Junkrat Widow again, but Strife on the Zen's quite an interesting pick as opposed to having the Mercy. Usually you tend to go for the Mercy here, firstly for the res, but secondly because you tend to run Ashe more often than not.
I like the Zen pick though, because the Zen with the Junkrat focus, they should be able to kind of get these kills very quickly.
Oh, the Duke. It's not enough for Wakaucha though.
Yeah, very smart rotation from Taters there. I liked that a lot, thinking, you know, that they're going to be going into the little room with the junk instead, straight to point.
But Jag with the hammer is just pummeling away right now. Peaks are going back and forth. It's anyone's fight right now.
And Taters will have a quicker spawn here to get back, so if they can just get these last couple of kills, we'll have a really nice time bank here.
McGrant is doing a really good job in getting the cleanup kills.
I think that rotation was key for them.
Yeah, definitely. It caught out the rest of the team off guard. Coucher was there to get the headshot, but again, it wasn't enough since the rest of Stardust were sort of off guard here. Let's get into the mind of Wakaucha.
Would like to see her maybe switch off of the Widow. Widow is good here for this point, but we saw Taters really push in aggressively, so not sure what kind of picks she would be able to get with them. Again, another smart rotation of them to take cover as much as possible.
Oh, and Uravity, they're able to take out Psychomantis. This is definitely going to be a really tough fight now. And yet more so in favour of Stardust here with every single pick. So quite a clean fight win. And they only needed to use the one ult as well.
I think watching both of these DPS up top, one of them, they're both kind of protecting each other and looking just to get as much damage in as possible.
Oh, big high noon there from Psycho, able to take out a ulting Sigma right in front of him.
There was a really nice Immorfield there on the side of Firestorm, was able to protect the team. Followed up with that Zen Trance. I think they should be able realistically to hold this point.
Yeah, looks like Stardust here are able to hold yet again. But I wouldn't fret too much. Taters do have, you know, about 4 minutes on the clock.
It's enough time to build a quick bob here because we did see Huntress switch to try and I think put some pressure here onto the Widow pick.
Oh, nice headshot as well. That's going to slow down their push considerably as they're going to have to wait for Huntress to come back now. We are seeing this rotation yet again from Taters, maybe to just avoid the Widow as well. Mac Dragon with the first pick, and the TV screen does come out.
I wasn't super confident in this Widow pick, but definitely getting proven wrong because they can't really come up main, and then going either the left or the right side leaves them open to the Junkrat spam from Uravity.
And Uravity doing a really good job there, able to get 2 with the tire and the follow-up. The score is 2-0 to Stardust. And welcome Nation.
Welcome back, Nation.
Ooh, we'll couch it again, just on fire with these headshots. Make that 2 before being sniped by Jag here. But again, the damage is already dealt. Well, Couch's Widow is keeping them at arm's length. Yeah, they definitely need to do something about the Widow. May need to be just swapping onto maybe a divey tank to deal with him. So, looks like they're going to be going bottom left.
They're going to try and use these ults first.
The only problem is, if you're avoiding to go main to avoid the Widow, you're then going to be going through these tight chokes where Uravity is going to have a lot of fun. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of scenario. Zannyboy with the Graviton is able to get both Jag and Huntress. And Stardust doing an incredible job to take time off the clock. We started with, what, 4.5, 5 minutes? And it's whittling down. It's going to be close to a minute before the next fight starts. The couch incredibly low right now. And Uravity just saying no to that push, so it looks like we're going to pretty much take it into a last fight territory. It's going to be difficult for Taters to have a better time bank now. We've been seeing some really big tires though, so Really fun watch here. And we'll couch it again, just starting things off. Really making things difficult for them. Ooh, I want to back out of that more. Fortunately, the tide wasn't enough as the Orisa was golden. Huntress is able to take out Uravity, but realistically, it's looking like Stardust Crusaders are going to be holding this.
Geek from moving just a second too late to save McFrancis there, but I do like the intent.
Unfortunately, Wakaucha was just doing so much work there, along with Uravity, that just made it so difficult for Taters to push that last choke. Jag with the play, let's see what he done here. Yeah, that was quite a big fire strike actually to take out the Lucio mid-beat. So, the score is 3-0, Stardust Crusaders, but we definitely do want to play this last map for the map differential. Because like I said the other week, map differential is going to be a big play into towards the end of the league. So, maps is Dorado, I think. Yes?
I can look it up if you give me 1 second. I think it's Havana, though.
It is Havana, I knew that.
Dorado was
I
last
was just
week.
testing you.
Just to give an update on the other game ended up being a 3-2, I need healing.
3-2, I need healing. Good job from both teams there. Sounded like it would have been anyone's game.
Do you need me to ask for swaps and readies?
Yes please.
Looks like we have our swaps already on the side of Taters.
Okay, so Jag and Mac, Psycho Bullet. And Mugen and Coach.
Excuse me, dog.
Don't believe we've seen Coach play just yet, so will be fun to see them play and see what they bring to the table. A lot of praise for Jag in chat as well. He definitely plays a very aggressive Ryan. You'd know that if you played against him or on a team with him, but yeah, definitely loves being super aggressive and pinning in, and does get a lot of work done from it as well. You'll see him build up shatters pretty quickly, so yeah, definitely a scary Reinhardt.
Bulky, in regards to the Fantasy League, we do plan on, Stubby and I are doing those podcasts to try and kind of sum up the week for each tier. I know we're hoping to do the T2 podcast tomorrow night. Definitely give more time for people to kind of tune in and get some input on the previous games for the week. So even if you don't have time to necessarily watch the games, you can at least get some kind of recap from those. So if you want to participate, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, always more than welcome to participate. Whether you're going to win it or not is going to be impossible because, you know, I'm going to be playing it, so it's going to be my fantasy league to win, and I'm going to be getting that prize at the end of it, right?
Did you even submit for this week?
No, because I'm trying to give everyone a chance.
Right.
See you later, Bulky. Okay.
Good night, Bulky.
So we're just waiting on the swaps from Stardust Crusaders, and then we should be sort of good to go. So what do you guys think? Do you think Taters can land themselves on the leaderboards with this last map?
With how they've been playing, I would say yes, honestly.
It feels like a coin toss, to be honest with you. Like, all three games we've seen so far have been ridiculously close. It is 3-0 right now to Stardust Crusaders, Kirby. But again, score doesn't really reflect what's going on. It's incredibly tight. All three games so far. I'd probably say Temple was a little more one-sided in favour of Stardust, but the other games have really been back and forth. Oh, we have a last second change here from Taters. Okay, so Brantis is going to be swapped for Psycho Mantis. And Huntress in for Bullet. Kale and Bullet. So Organic Coil coming back in. Bullet. Do like to see the flexibility from Taters here. Psycho on both DPS and tank. Brantis again doing the same thing, as well as Kale and Bullet dodges, I believe. I think Bullet was playing DPS last round, right? Correct me if I am wrong. Now if Kirby gets the 4, if Stardust Crusaders get the 4-0, then Kirby's going to be 2 out of 2 for his predictions. Seems to know the teams quite well.
I mean, Kirby has, for the last couple of seasons, been an expert on doing his podcast and his power rankings for Tier 3. I'm not very shocked by that.
Yeah, no doubt Kirby is definitely going to be probably in the top 5 of scores at the end of the season.
Just a matter of, does he get the Tier 2 predictions right? Remember, though, I did have White Walkers in last in the Season 4 preseason power rankings, and we all know how that went. Very true, but that was a new team to the league, so sometimes it's erring on the side of cautiousness to kind of rank newer teams a little bit lower, just until they show some dominance in the early matches.
Grich. There's the Wokoucha. Strap Panda. So we do have the ready from Taters, just waiting on the SR, and we should be good to go.
What do you think we need to see here from Taters to help them secure a map win? They've had very strong holds thus far, every single map, and really strong attacks, to be honest, too.
I mean, I think they're doing quite a good job. I think they're definitely getting either a little cocky or just caught off guard at the last minute. If they do the same thing all the way around rather than being consistent until the very last push, then I think they'd be fine, to be honest with you. I don't think they're playing incorrectly at all.
No, one thing you can definitely see from Tater is that they have 100% worked on their coordination together. Just some of those rotations that we were seeing, the speed boosting, the waiting for the Maywalls, the not really getting caught out by those Maywalls has been very impressive on their part.
Okay, so we have the readies, and we should be good to go.
Traveling to Havana. Initiating launch.
Okay. Havana is definitely a sniper heavy map, so I wonder if we're going to see,
Ready.
well, as I say that, we do see the double widows coming out. From the defense, we're going to have the double shield Junkrat widow. Okay. It's going to be difficult for Huntress to play a widow into the double shield. So we'll see if that's just a sort of scout out from spawn, or if they're actually going to go with that.
Looks like on the side of Taters we might be getting a dive or a hybrid dive. Nope, now it looks like we're going back to dive.
Yeah, it will be quite an interesting dive comp. I think they sort of learnt their lesson from last map, and they might want to deal with Wokoucha here. Huntress is able to take out Wokoucha to start things off, though the res is there from Take the Strap.
But the two tanks on the side of Taters are trying to follow up with these aggressive pushes here to catch somebody out if they can.
When they are able to take out Wokoucha yet again, though Wokoucha able to take out Kale, so not a bad exchange.
No res from Strap online though.
Yeah, unfortunately they did use the res to bring back Wokoucha just earlier. So they probably have 15 seconds or so on their res. Huntress again, just popping off right now. Who is this person? Able to take out two before being taken out by Wokoucha, but Wokoucha again, it's the battle of the widows this time round. Unfortunately, Wokoucha couldn't do enough there as the dive just overwhelmed the rest of the team. So, quite a nice win there, and starting second point with just over 5 minutes on the clock. Seems like Dive is doing a really good job here for Taters. if I was Wakaucha, I might want to swap. So we do see the tank swap.
Yeah, Tanks on Tater's doing a really good job of denying any sort of high ground both to Ruby and Wakaucha. So.
Yeah, really good job there to focus down Wakaucha. The second they see Wakaucha grapple, they immediately go for them.
Great pick again from Huntress, taking Weeby Ghost out of the fight when Weeby does have that tire online.
And a nice boop as well from Jag as well to stop, take the strap from getting a res in that immort. Unfortunately, Huntress is going to be taken out by Wakaucha, who has swapped onto Echo, but again taken out by the RNG orb from Organic Coil.
Little dangerous to be taking this low roam fight against the Junkrat, but Huntress able to take Weeby Ghost out.
Unfortunately, McBrantis was following Weeby Ghost a little too close, and they were taken out by the Martyrdom.
Good
Beat does
patience there
come
from
out.
Stardust to kind of wait to touch payload at the very last moment.
Unfortunately,
Early
Mad Dragon
beat
moving
from-
out of the way of that pulse bomb in the nick of time.
We did see the early beat from Bullet, but it looks like Stardust is going to be able to kind of stabilize upon this point here. And stabilize with a lot of ults online.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted. That's what they needed, really. Ideally wanted it just before Tater's got to the second checkpoint, and now they can work with 5 ults. And Coucher's just doing a really good job right now on the Echo. Though they might be punished. No, looks like Strap is there to save the day.
So Tater's best hope here, I think, would be to try and bait out at least 2 or 3 of these ults if they can. Get an early pick, not use their ults until they get a pick or 2, would be my opinion on the fight.
Huntress has swapped onto the Sombra as well. Oh. I wonder how they're gonna incorporate that. Maybe an EMP bomb combo? Well, unfortunately a missed grab there from Eldritch. They're gonna have to make up for this now. I wanna see them get the last 4K.
I like to see the patience from Psycho Mantis not to use that bomb, just to kind of hold off and wait. Like Grant is changing to the soldier now to kind of help battle against the Echo here. He's very aware, I think, of Weeby Ghost here on the right, or I thought was aware, but it looks like maybe they're not. Weeby just patiently waiting for this tire.
They're gonna have to beat if they wanna save the rest of their team. It's looking like it's gonna get 2 big picks there as well, so no beat. And that's gonna probably be enough for Stardust to flip this point in their favor. Unfortunately, Huntress wasn't able to get out in time. Now we're seeing pretty much just under a minute for Taters to get the sort of payload all the way through. They don't really have a lot to work with, maybe a beat to be aggressive and an EMP, but looking at the ults from Stardust Crusaders, they do have a lot to work with right now. That being said though, Psycho Mantis with a nice kill onto Wakaucha to start things off. Shatter comes out, able to find Psycho Mantis, but the EMP able to find 3. They have to watch out for that Echo Reinhardt Shatter. There it is. Wakaucha is able to take out Jag with it. Let's look.
Fire, I don't know if was stuck there for a moment and kind of in the corner, but well played because they were able to take out Bullet Dodger on Lucio.
Well, Couch's Widow is very scary, Mr. Game and Kirby. If you were watching Temple of Anubis, they were just clicking heads and pretty much stopped. I want to say 4 out of 6 of Tater's pushes. What do you think Taters need to do here to be able to hold off now?
I would like to see a sim, if I'm being 100% honest. I think the sim could kind of maybe help depending on if Stardust plays dive, which I wouldn't be shocked at a dive. But other than that, I think the Widow pick on the side of Taters is still a really good pick. Ashe would be a good possibility here. I think seeing what Stardust are going to be running, this Rein, Zarya, Echo, Hanzo, Mercy, Moira, looks like you definitely need kind of a double sniper. I hope we see a quick change from McBrantis into maybe their own Hanzo.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you. I think the Ashe would probably have been a better pick. I can see why they would go the Widow since it is a very Widow-heavy map, but I think you can apply more pressure as an Ashe with the damage boost from bullet dodgers, but they do have the double shield to work with, so maybe that's going to be enough. Huntress is really low right now. It might have been Couch on the Hanzo.
I mean, the spam damage obviously from the Junkrat's very good to take out this double shield to allow Taters to kind of keep their presence here.
Weeby Ghost being quite scary on the Echo. Bullet Dodgers does get the res onto Huntress, so Huntress needs to watch out now. Stardust Crusaders are starting to push up aggressively here.
Question for me is, who will Weeby be copying in this fight?
Now, a good tire there as well from McBrantis, was able to take out, I believe that was it Mag? I can't believe I've already forgotten, but just a big tire anyway, able to make it easier for them to flip that fight.
So tell me, they need to kill the other two before they kill them, and then it's an easy clap. I mean, isn't
Wise
that
words.
always the objective?
Very wise words. Well, Couch able to take out Huntress, but picks heavily in favour of Taters here. Huntress able to start things off.
Tough room for Stardust to kind of rotate into, especially against a Junkrat.
Yeah.
And we just saw why.
Definitely always need to keep in mind that when playing against a Junkrat, you kind of want to avoid tight little chokes like that.
But we see Taters doing what Stardust did on Anubis, basically, you know, negating a lot of the different paths between the open grounds of the Widow
Nice combo
getting
there.
hits and the Junkrat.
The 5-strike Matrix combo is really well played between Kale and Jack here. I believe it was them two that done it on Anubis as well.
I think Kale is DPS on Anubis.
Were they? Either way, they have it sort of nailed down, really. Anytime they Matrix, you're going to see a 5-strike coming out of that, which is nice to see. Huntress with a nice headshot. Fortunately missed the headshot onto the Mercy there though, but doesn't matter.
Nice separation on the side of Taters and back out from Jag. Jag was very low in a lot of that fight, so good support play there on the side of Tater. Not sure if the Orisa pylons were needed, especially because the rest of the team is still pretty low on ults. We did see, you know, 3 ults come out on the side of Taters, and that might be what Stardust needs to win this fight.
I think it wasn't too bad since they are going to have the Vault coming online now to help the rest of the team out. A big shot here from Jag. They also got the
On top
Matrix
of
coming
a
online from
big
Kale.
shatter on top of a really nice block of shatter.
Nice pin there from Jag. Huntress following up. And again, this is the sort of moment where Stardust just come out of nowhere and just, you know, will take point one. So if I were Taters, I'd be incredibly careful right now. Fortunately, they don't need
do have
to.
ult advantage though.
They do have the advantage, but we are seeing quite a massive comp change from Stardust Crusaders. Is it going to be enough? Huntress saying no to that and taking out the Moira, though the res is there. But that just means that there is no res now.
Jag almost having another tire, but it does not seem like it's necessary because McRandis with that 4K tire really is just going to clean Stardust off the point.
Big tires, big tires. Been seeing them all night. So, unfortunately for you guys who thought it was going to be a 4-0, predictions are wrong. It's a 3-1 to Stardust. And honestly, I could see it go either way there. Good patience there from McBrandis. Usually you see Junkrats hold their tires for a little too long, hoping to get, you know, huge plays, but he held it just long enough to get a massive tire and help win that fight.
So now we will just wait for the MVP nominations from both teams here. I get the feeling, I almost want to say I kind of know who the teams are going to be picking for MVPs for each other.
Yeah, I have a feeling
I
as
can
well.
almost see Stardust picking Jag and Kale, and I can see Taters picking probably, I could see Vivi and Wakucha, or I could see Strife being a potential pick, or Yorevity being a pick.
Yeah, we've
Panda,
seen...
though, had some really amazing Immorts and Matrix Fields themselves.
It was just fun to watch with all these big ults. You know, it was big tires, big shatters, big bombs as well. It's just incredible to watch both these teams popping off.
Yeah, I think as we've seen so far in almost every game this season, and granted, still early in the season, a lot of these scores do not reflect the gameplay that we're seeing. So I think some teams, or not teams, but I think our community would be remiss not to watch these games back and kind of just see the incredible plays that we're seeing.
And we got a lot of love in match chat too, so it's good to end it on a good note.
While we wait for these MVP nominations, did you want to start talking about the players on the teams? It looks like from Taters we have Wakusha and Token Panda.
Okay, so I mean, I think Wakucha was definitely someone we both thought that was going to be there. Token Panda as well, playing really well. So let's start off. How do you want to talk about the MVPs then, or nominations?
Let's just begin with Stardust, since we have the nominations for that team. We can kind of go down their roster and give a little input on everybody.
Okay, sounds good.
Stardust, in general, kind of switched a lot of people around on different roles. We saw Eldrick, though. I think they mostly tank tonight. Eldrick did a really good job playing a variety of tank, I think.
Yeah, I think we saw him a lot on the Zarya and Sigma. But I think I think they did swap a couple of times to dive. I'm not sure if Eldrick was in on that, but yeah, definitely played a really scary Zarya, and his Sigma was on point as well when they were running the double shield.
Mag here, though, did also a really good job at the end. I think had a lot of point presence, and this was a map that they did play dive on. We did see Mag on dive themselves, so I was wholly impressed, I think, all night by the tank play from Stardust.
Yeah, I think Mag was doing a really good job on the main tank as well. Played a little bit of Reinhardt Orisa, and like you were saying, really good point presence. Worked really well with the aggression with the rest of their team. Were able to stop a few shatters as well, I believe, from Jay. Yeah.
Strife, another character or another player that we saw on tank tonight, did a really good job on both the Rhine and then the switches to Diva. I think were pretty key for Stardust, especially when it was touching point moments. We saw a couple of decent bombs from Strife.
Yeah, quite nice to see DPS mains being able to sort of flex around, not only to just off tank but main tank as well. And looks like he's one of those people that it doesn't sort of hinder your main tank play from being a DPS, and we sort of saw it tonight as well. Really being able to sort of make the game play around him and keep the tempo on his team.
Nomination from Stardust are for Huntress and Jag. So, back to the DPS on Stardust though. Clearly, we have to start with Wakusha. Did an amazing job all night. Saw a variety of a player pool from them. And each character that they played, they did really well on. I think we saw them on the Junkrat, we saw them on the Pharah, obviously on the Widow.
Yeah, Wakusha's got scary aim. They've got crazy mechanics, as we've
Hanzo.
seen from them play a variety of the DPS, doing so much as to stop whole pushes just on their own. And we saw that on Temple of Anubis. Able to, basically take with your Ravity, able to take the time down from like 4.5, 5 minutes to pretty much full holding second point. Yeah, crazy Widow. Junkrat as well. Did they play Junkrat? I feel like they played Junkrat.
Very, very briefly, I think they did. We saw mostly Urevity on the Junkrat and on the Reaper, and Urevity did a really good job playing both of those characters. Lots of huge tires. The Reaper plays really intelligently thought out, good boops, good combinations from Stardust on using those Reaper ults.
Yeah, also doing really well on the Mei, getting a lot of big blizzards and doing really well with the wards to sort of split off Taters and, systematically taking them down one by one.
Speaking of good Meis, Weeby Ghost did an amazing job playing Mei for
An
Stardust.
amazing job.
That was but, moving on.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Weeby done a really good job there.
really good utilization of ult, of wall, of stalling on point. Was never really caught out without a cooldown for the most part, so very impressed by that from Weeby.
Okay, did we miss anyone out there for DPS?
Strife also played a little bit of DPS, I think. We saw, I want to say Tracer at some point, unless I'm wrong.
Are you sure?
No, I could be wrong, because I've been dealing with the dog issues a little bit off and on tonight, so Strife might not have played DPS, but I could be imagining that.
Not that I am aware. I think most of it was Uravity, Biza as well. Biza playing on the
Yes, that's who it
McCree. Doing a good job in sort of pressuring out like the Pharah from Huntress multiple times, getting big high noons as well.
On to the supports then for Stardust.
Okay, let's see them. So, Strat played quite phenomenal Mercy, doing a really good job with the pocket and damage boosting the team, and players like Wakawacha and Uravity and just letting them pop off and just getting their ults incredibly quickly. I think Strat was getting some really nice reses as well.
I can agree with that. We saw Panda obviously nominated for MVP, did a really good job. Those immorts and I think those matrix skills from Panda really helped Stardust to hold points and to take points.
I think
so I can 100% see why she was nominated.
I think Panda's presence alone on the Baptiste was pretty much enough to stop Taters from playing, how they usually would play, and their immorts were incredibly good, saved multiple of their team members multiple times, and pretty much were allowed to flip the point because of that. So yeah, really good job on the Baptiste there.
But Magdragon also did a really good job on the Mercy support tonight, especially on Eichenwald. Got some really incredible reses off, had really great peel for the team. And we saw, I know at one point on the third point I talked about using that Valk to kind of play aggressively, and they did so. And then there was a scary moment that somebody was dead in a corner, and that Valk she went right in, rezzed them, got right back to the team, and they really didn't lose anybody else in that fight, which allowed them to take third point.
Yeah, I think Mag being a really good flex there as well, not sort of losing any points for healer or tank as they were
We
playing
did see
tonight. And we saw
Firestorm tonight
Firestorm as well.
also. Hmm.
I believe they played the BAP. I think they were playing BAP and Strife was playing Zen at one point together. But yeah, again, Token Panda and Firestorm Revel playing really incredible BAPs. The Immorts on point as well as the pressure just from the damage.
I have to go get Nella for 1 second. So if you want to bring us over to Taters now, and we can talk,
Okay,
we could start with Jag, obviously, for tank line, but I will
so
be back in one
let
second.
us have a look. So from what I saw from the game, Jag was doing a really good job in shielding his team, playing very aggressively and sort of having the momentum on their team because of him. He was getting massive shatters in and out, and he was working really well with comboing his ults and fire strikes with the rest of his team. Um, I think Jibber would probably agree as well. He was getting some really good pins, and again, while being aggressive, was able to go and get ults incredibly fast. We saw on Icon World Defense him getting his ult when the enemy Rhine was, I don't know, about 30%, which was sort of incredible to see. Let's see, who else do we have? Psychomantis again. We saw some really big hooks on Ilios. I know he played the Roadhog and the Ball quite a fair bit. Doing a really good job on both. Got a few boops. We saw that play of the game. Getting mines incredibly quickly as well. So definitely complementary as well with how they play with Jag. McBrantis, another playing quite a bit of double shield with Jag, and let's see here. I think McBrantis did play quite a fair amount of Zarya as well. To see them on Temple of Anubis being able to pretty much almost felt like single-handedly being able to take point A for Taters there. Let's see, MVP. I think that's it for the tanks. DPS. Okay, let's start with Kale. Kale, or Coil, as I was saying, doing a really good job on the Junkrat, just popping off considerably, getting ult so quickly. Huntress as well, popping off on the hit scan. We saw them on the... We saw a lot of Ashe and sort of Widow towards the end. They're doing a really good job making a name for themselves as like a hit scan player for the Taters.
Who have we gone through? Sorry about that.
We've just gone through the tanks. I've just talked about Kale and Huntress on DPS.
Okay.
Anything you want to add?
I think Kale and Huntress did a really good job. We also saw Bullet
Bullet,
on
yep.
DPS. Yep. I think Bullet really held their own, made some really good swaps when it was necessary.
Played a decent McCree. We did see quite...
Yep.
It was more used as zoning ults, but doing a good job
Mhm.
nonetheless. We saw, I think it was Bullet that was able to take out Zanny Boy while he was mid-ult.
We did see Psycho on the DPS too, and Psycho really popped off on the Junkrat.
Oh yeah, he was a scary Junkrat on Temple of
McCree.
Anubis.
Hmm.
Even while they were down a pick, Psycho pretty much getting a full 5k with the Junkrat and building up Tyre almost immediately within the team fight.
McBrantis, did you talk about McBrantis on DPS?
I did, vaguely, yes.
Okay. So I think then we can move to sports.
That is correct. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat.
So, tonight on support, I really saw Mrs. Polish do an amazing job. Was getting just as quick as Jag was getting, the hammer down, had Koa on fight or online for almost every fight, and/or by the time the fight was done, we saw on Eichenwald literally was at 50% to the next Koa. Really enabled the tanks to play as aggressively as they like to play, and did a really good job with all of that.
Yeah, I think they were doing a really good job building up the coalescences really well and complementing sort of Jag's play style, and from that building up the colors like within almost feels like within a minute, within 40 seconds, just to keep that aggression for their team.
And she was well complimented by Mugen when she played with Mugen, which I think was majority of the time that they both were in. I know she did play with Kale at some point, but Mugen at that point was playing the BAP for them, and we saw those BAP immorts, Jag really taking advantage of them and able to get really nice fire strikes through them. So also really good. I said immorts, but I meant matrices. But we did see really good immorts from Mugen also to kind of save the team against as much damage as possible incoming.
Yeah, I think Mugen done a really good job on the sort of off healer, playing the Baptiste and the Lucio.
Hmm.
Again, doing a really good job with the speed boosts, and I believe it was them on Iconroll that were just able to quickly speed boost the team far left and stop all of that spam damage from the defending team.
Correct.
I think it was, yeah.
Yep, it was.
We also had. I talked
We
about
had Kale on
Jess moving.
Anubis playing the other support to Jess's um, Moira there. I think
Yeah, we do
I
see
think
Kale.
Kale. What was that?
Yeah, we did see Kale.
Mhm. I think Kale did a really good job. That was where you were discussing the whole again another great, Immort Field and Matrix that we saw. It seems like Taters really have a good grasp on how to play Baptiste, just in general, among a variety of different people on their team.
Yeah, they definitely do have the solid Baptiste options for their team, and they get pretty quick matrices from it. And the way that they work those matrices with, comboing fire strikes with the rest of their team, it really, really benefits their team overall. I think that's about it for everyone,
Did you talk about Bullet on Havana on support?
apart from Bullet on Havana on support.
Can't forget anybody. Um, Bullet did a really good job there towards the end. Definitely helped to keep Taters up, keep the aggression going. We saw, like I talked about on their last defense there, Jag got really low. The Dragons were incoming, had a really good immort field that Jag was able to kind of back into, but they also kept Jag up the entire time for that fight. So
Yep.
not losing your main tank in those battles when you're trying to hold and keep first point is definitely very impressive. So big props to Bullet for that.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now let's talk about MVPs. So I think for tank, I'm pretty settled on Jag here.
I was gonna say, honestly, my support can go either way, but I think the nominations for the most part have this right. I think Jag for tank is it is just you can't not give it to that man for the
Yeah, I think
night.
he
The
definitely
pins,
performed.
the pins were incredible. The the fire strikes were incredible. We saw on Eichenwald that he literally was 20% during Stardust's first push, and on their second push, he was already at 50%. And a lot of
Yeah,
his
as I
shatters, as
mentioned
we pointed
earlier.
out, how many 5-man shatters did he get tonight? It was a really controlled play of Reinhardt tonight. And we also saw him, I want to say, on the monkey when they did the dive.
Yep.
And he did a really good job with that.
Yeah, I think as I was saying earlier, like Jag was performing really well with all of his cooldowns and his ults and the ability to be really aggressive and just working with the sort of tempo with the team. I feel like Jag really had a good game here, and it definitely showed. As I feel like he was, the shining star of the tanks out of tonight.
So I think we're agreed on Jag. How about DPS?
So DPS is there's quite a few people that I would want to mention, but namely I would have to say Wakaucha. I think the flexibility
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to shut down multiple team pushes on the Widow and Echo and Hanzo and just playing incredibly on all of the DPS were just an incredible watch. We did see the likes of Uravity and Huntress popping off as well.
And
Was it
Kale did have that 5K
Brandis?
on Eichenwald to help them take point.
Yeah.
So it was just all around really impressive play from all of the DPSs. But I think we saw, I want to say, the most consistency and flexibility, forcing the other team into switching themselves into different characters and constantly being on something else from Wakucha. So I would go with them.
I would have to agree with you there. This is weird, we're actually agreeing for once.
Hmm. Supports.
Supports. This is a tough one. I think everyone played really well in supports here. For me, it would have to be either out of Mrs. Polish or Token Panda.
And that's where I am stuck. I think both super enabled their tanks and did incredible jobs. Um, for me, I think Panda edges Mrs. Polish out just because the BAP and Mort fields really help protect your team more so. Um, and we saw between the BAP and Mort field and the matrices from Token Panda how well utilized that can be.
Yeah, I think Token Panda just edges uh, Jess out there. Token Panda doing a really incredible job on the Baptiste. We did see Jess, like I was saying earlier, getting the coalescences and just popping off and helping the rest of her team and the tanks just be really aggressive. But I honestly think Token Panda just edges out there. I do want to actually give Jess the honorable mention this time around, though.
I can definitely agree with that. Are you typing this up in match chat?
I am.
That's fine. I will go to standings then.
I think that's pretty much it then, unless there's anything else we missed.
Um, no, I don't think we missed anything there. Our next game our next couple of games that we will be having played will be Valhalla versus Cosmic Omnix tomorrow night at 7 p.m. CST. Also, we have Prodigy Noobs versus Diving Phoenix at 7:30 p.m. CST. So, the Valhalla KO game will be on stream 1. Prodigy versus Phoenix will be on stream 2. And possibly, potentially after that, Subby and I will be doing the tier 2 podcast. So if we can
Fingers
kind of
crossed.
get our, if we can get our coordination and schedules together here, but
Yeah.
it will definitely happen this weekend.
But aside from that, I think that's going to be us signing off. Thank you everyone that came and to watch both teams, and we will see you next time.